Good YouTube. Flash Speaks. Back for another video, man. As you can tell, I haven't been commenting much on. I didn't do a blog on the WNBA this morning or even last night. Part of the reason is I saw part of the Chicago game, and enough to know, what was happening. I saw part of the Fever game again against the Aces, enough to see that the Aces are extremely disappointing this year. I don't know what the hell's going on with them, you know. But I went to the movies last night to see Fantastic Four, and I'm thinking about whether or not I'm gonna do a review on that or not. I don't know. You guys let me know if you want to hear anything about it. But overall, I thought the movie was just middling. I didn't necessarily hate it. Definitely didn't love it. So there's a number of reasons too. But anyway, while I'm gone, of course, bugs and fleas and gnats, they come around. And, here I'm referring to, of course, Caitlin Clark fans who've come through and have commentary. And I don't really have a chance to answer everything by typing. So I'll do it this way. Y'all know how we do. All right, so Spock Zala, he's one of the biggest trolls. He says, "You really need Michael? Stop it. Get some help." I don't know what he means. Maybe he means Michaela Onyenwere. If that's what you mean. When did I say we need Michaela? But Michaela is a player on the team. The Sky are better when she's playing than when she's not playing. That's a fact. So I don't get what your point is. If you think that's a strong point, then good for you. Maybe your mommy should give you a cookie. All right. Judah Tribe. Yep, my man. Thomas Buki. And this is interesting because this is a video where I wasn't really even talking about the Fever. But that's fine. You want to come to me and bring up stuff. Thomas Bokeman says, Clarkie's hating on Kelsey Mitchell for her twin sister complaining about the silence about her sister and loud hype about CC. Yeah, I don't know the details about that, but I did hear some. I did see on some channels where Kelsey Mitchell was being brought up, which I don't know why. Y'all need Kelsey Mitchell, right? And this is why I don't really wish y'all team any success. Even the players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, who I don't particularly have an issue with. I don't wish y'all success because y'all just a mess. It's a circus over there. The fans make it a circus. So, leave Kelsey Mitchell the hell alone. And her sister said something, who cares? And if she's saying stuff to her sister, oh well, maybe Cece needs to improve her leadership. Y'all think she's just this freaking angel and this perfect player, and she's not either. Just saw her over there hugging up on Mario, drinking a damn brew. You know what I'm saying? Acting like a damn fool. If Angel Reese was doing that, y'all be saying all types of stuff, man. Get out of here. All right. A 13-12 record is better. Edward Stevens, another troll. He says a 13-12 record is better than a 7-17 record. Ooh, you think so? Wow. You're so smart, Edward. You can count. J-Tap, another troll, he says, keep the same energy, fake-ass injury by Reese. How do you know it's a fake injury? All right, this is what you got to understand, right? There's being hurt and then there's an injury. It's possible that Angel Reese is just hurt and not necessarily injured. And it's possible the Chicago Sky is looking at it like, why the fuck will we play her in a game against the Seattle Storm where we're very much likely to lose, especially without Ariel Atkins, instead of just resting Angel Reese as much as we can until Ariel Atkins comes back, and then we'll try to make maybe a run at it towards the end, of the season. It's probably that type of thing. Sometimes when players, like, if it was, like, realistic, we're fighting for playoff positioning or something like that, then I'm sure Angel could play. If it was a playoff game, I'm sure she would play. But she's sitting, and I don't have a problem with it. So with the keep what energy? I don't have a problem with her sitting. You clown. Edward Stevens again says, I guess Angel Reese can't do everything and play every position you Angel Reese fanboys swear she can do. Who says she can play every position? You I'm not going to say nothing to you. Whoever says she can play every position, you know. Let me see what's going on here. Is there anything I missed? All right, so we got this guy named Oscar. Looks like another troll. He says, okay, this will be called hate but it's all facts. All right there, that lets me know he's about to lie. Reese missed a regular season game against Atlanta last week for a precaution for injury, but then played in an all-star game that doesn't count, and now she's missing another regular season game. Dedication to the team? Well, dude, there's a number of things that go into these, right? There's the coaching staff, there's the medical staff, there's a whole lot of this going into it, okay? She missed a game for precaution for injury, right? And then played an all-star game. Like, okay. Like, did you see that all-star game? Shit, that all-star game was so damn light. I don't understand why Caitlin Clark couldn't have played in it, to be honest with you. Shit, you probably get more damn strenuous to play in the damn three-point contest. I know damn well that the skills competition is probably more strenuous than that all-star game. Shit, she came in there, run her little ass to the 4-point spot and just passed it to her a couple of times. She probably would have missed because y'all act like she can't shoot nothing now, right? But shit, you could have played in that. That's nothing. Now the difference between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark's situation and why y'all acting like Angel Reese is, faking is more ridiculous than us with Caitlin Clark is, we've actually seen what happened with Angel Reese's injuries. Like, for example, last year when she broke the wrist, we saw where she fell and where she tried to break her fall with her hand, right? I actually broke my wrist that way one time when I was 13 years old playing basketball, and then you fall awkwardly, going up for a rebound, somebody undercuts me, and then I'm falling in a way where I can't brace myself with both hands, so I put down one hand, and then the rest of my body, weight is like kind of on top of that hand, and then I broke my wrist. I did that, okay? And we saw that happen with Angel Reese. So when she said wrist is broke, we saw it. That's why, and y'all sound dumb when you act like it's a mystery thing when you saw her fucking fall, right? That's different from, Caitlin Clark coming in there and we don't. It's a mystery injury to the groin or to the thigh. We didn't see it happen, right? That's different. Do you understand? Okay. Now I get it. What probably happened with Caitlin Clark is she's a new weightlifter, right? And if you're a new weightlifter and you don't know what the hell you're doing, and maybe someone didn't help you teach you how to squat properly, and then you're doing too much. Because I remember she was saying, I started to love the weightlifting, so I just kept doing it. So she probably squatted some shit wrong or something, or maybe she was looking at something on TikTok as she was squatting. And was laughing, being a goofball since y'all say she's so goofy, and probably hurt her thigh trying to squat. Okay, maybe that's what happened. I don't know, but we didn't see it. See, that's the difference. Dedication to the team. Well, I don't think anyone questions Angel Reese's dedication to the team, whether it's her teammates or her coaches, and those are the people that really matter. Like people like you, Oscar. You don't really matter. Like, you're just talking. Okay? And while Reese fans were saying Clark has been faking injury and that her poor shooting has just been because she's overrated, Reese has now been injured last year, this year, and unrivaled. Okay, right. But they won't call these fake injuries. Yeah, but you call them fake injuries. Of course, Angel Reese fans aren't going to call them fake injuries. Why would Angel Reese fans say the injuries are fake? Angel Reese fans don't believe Angel Reese would do that. Okay? And we don't call him fake because we can point to when the injury happened. You get it? Okay. Now she's missing a game right after one where she had the most turnovers she's ever had. Also, she said, "Oh my God, I had a bunch of turnovers, so I'm a fake an injury." All right, newsflash: players don't really care about the turnovers like that to the point where they're going to like not show up for another game. She would just go out there and just have less turnovers. And about these turnovers, listen, Caitlin Clark fans, this is to every last one of you. If you were not criticizing Caitlin Clark's turnovers, you don't get to criticize Angel Reese's turnovers. Why? Because your baseline stance is that turnovers are not important. Your baseline stance is that you know, every great player turns the ball over. All right. So what I need you to be saying is, yeah, Angel, this is proof that Angel Reese is a great player because she turns the ball over. Why? Because that's your baseline stance. One thing you have to do when you argue with people like me is be consistent. All right. Other than that, like, I'm not going to accept certain things from you. I don't accept from Caitlin Clark fans criticism about Angel Reese's turnovers. You don't get to care about Angel Reese's and not care about Caitlin Clark's. Okay, that's not how that works. All right. I think I went back with him a little bit. We have to trust athletes when they say they are injured and understand when they decide to plan for the long term. Whatever. Okay. I don't care. Yeah, so there was like a lot of back and forth with him and others, which is fine. Which is fine. All right. What else we got? Alright, so did this take us right back to where we were? This is driving me crazy, manga. Alright. What else did we have? Okay, I think there was a lot here, too. Alright, so of course, Troll Angry Fan says, laugh on my ass. This was on the video I did about where I was really talking to a specific Caitlin Clark fan. This specific guy, you know, who was saying very, disrespectful things to and about Angel Reese, right? Benjamin, do I want to deal with Ben? Yeah, okay, I'll deal with Ben. Sure, why not? Very long, Ben. Ben, you and them damn books, Ben. All right, so Ben says, yeah, good. I have a criticism of you, but mostly criticism of Clark creators. The Clark creators don't have anything to write about, so they're resorting to garbage content now. Don't pick a bad game Angel Reese has to write about her. She stepped it up and is improving, and trash games happen to every player, including Asia, Fee, Stewie, and other top players. This whole Kelsey sister wrote something story is blown out of proportion. Then there's the constant White can't coach garbage, where White beat the Fever 2-0 in the first round of the playoffs last season. Another thing is this ridiculous notion that Caitlin wants to go to the Liberty, and that the Liberty want her. They don't need her. They have Ionescu and Cloud, and Caitlin would not work that well there. Also, I'm from New York City. The media is rough here. The fans can be too. Indiana is a great spot for Caitlin. All right. The only thing left to write about Caitlin is how terrible the Fever organization is handling her groin injury. They won't say what it specifically is and how long realistically she'll be out, and Caitlin doesn't need to travel to New York or anywhere else. If you want to write about Caitlin, she said she don't feel young anymore due to the injuries. My criticism of you, so this has been talking to me, is that I would not allow disrespect on my channel in the form of such things like someone writing KK Caitlin or that idiot calling me Uncle Ben. That to me is BS because it's about Caitlyn and she doesn't deserve that. And as for me, I don't need to deal with some child like that idiot. Just like disparaging things about Angel should not be allowed, and I agree with that. It shouldn't be allowed against any player, including Caitlyn. Not on Paige, not on story feed. Courtney Williams, no player, but overall the channel is fine. Of course, it's yours. That's just my opinion, but I don't tell a grown man who puts in the work how to do anything. I do think that, well, the thing about this, Ben, right, is there's comments, potentially hundreds of comments coming in all the time, right? And, I'm not going to have a situation where I'm just, blocking just thousands, you know. Now, sometimes I do think about maybe just deleting some people's comments. That might be a possibility. But, some people writing KKK Caitlyn, right? I don't know. Usually I think it's more like about, I don't know if I've ever seen KKK Caitlyn. I've seen, like KKK Clark fans, like relating to like the fan base. I've seen that, but I don't know. And then someone calling you Uncle Ben, I don't know what that's about. You want me to, so you want me to delete anyone who disrespects you, Ben? Well, that's a big ask. That's a big ask. But I'll consider these things. Okay, I'll consider. We'll take all complaints into consideration. All right, Ink Splash 52 says Angel Reese is the reason I started back watching WNBA, but not going to be biased here. That girl played like shit yesterday. I hope she bounced back next game. All right. Raphael Major says this is the place where Baby Giraffe is banned, but Clarky is okay. Yeah, of course, Baby Giraffe is not as bad as Clarky. Like, what are we talking about? Right? Like, I don't understand. What's bad about saying Clarky? I don't get it. Right? That's just putting a Y. That's called the Y of possession, right? Or a Y of attribution, right? In grammar. So it's Clark, and Clarky means you're attributing you to Clark. That's not offensive. You're a Clark fan, you're Clarky. Who are you talking about? That's just grammar, okay? Whereas Baby Giraffe, a giraffe has nothing to do with Angel Reese whatsoever, so that's more of an insult. I mean, it's common sense, right? Michael White says, hateful land, a lot of comments are pure hate, and you can tell. I like to joke around, though. Like when I saw Shaq stick up for Angel, my first thought was they should have a son. And he would get drafted number 1 at the age of 22 and his first NBA free throw at the age of 26. I don't hate either, but I thought that might make somebody smile. Even show might like that one, being a basketball historian and all. No. Shaq is way older than her, and in this particular country, and that's not, you know what I mean. And that's nobody wants to see that Andrew and Shaq, getting together. That's no sir. All right. Let me see. Here comes Oscar again. Mature sports talk not only means no personal attacks and no bashing someone's looks. It means you don't say that any actual sports criticism is hate or racism, right? That's a loaded question there, right? Just because you consider it valid sports racism or criticism doesn't mean I can't sniff out racism in it, right? So I don't know. Each comment is judged based on its own merits, okay? This is kind of crazy trying to get to these daggone, trying to get to this stuff, man. It's crazy. Alright, Alright, so here comes Oscar the Troll. Sky lost by 37 the other day, and our fans say it was because Reese didn't play. Now they lose by 23 with Reese, and on opening night they lost to the Fever by 35 with Reese. Well, this guy obviously doesn't like Angel Reese a lot. I don't know what you want me to say to that, sir. I mean, if you just listen to our videos, I think it's not that simple. I think we explain that the whole roster is bad. Okay? Angel Reese can only do what she can do. Okay, now if you're talking about she was horrible in the game, then I think you can kind of blame her. But if she played well, about as well as you can expect, and the other people didn't hold their weight, then what is your point? I hope you're not trying to correlate between that and Caitlin Clark, because that's dumb. Caitlin Clark clearly plays on a team with a much superior roster. That explains the blowouts, okay? If you look at Caitlin Clark's, if you look at the Indiana Fever's starting five, where's your weakness? Where's your weakness? Sophie Cunningham, is what? Or Lexi Hull? Okay, well, guess what? Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull are better than any person that plays the three on Chicago. Okay? Would you rather have Rebecca Allen or Kia Nurse over one of them? I'll wait. Would you rather have Rachel Banham over who on your team, sir? Huh? You know, the only way the Chicago Sky have a chance is if their three best players play well. And that's Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, and Ariel Atkins. The rest of the players are sometimey. If those three do not play well, it is very unlikely they'll win. Whereas with the Indiana Fever, you have three current All-Star players: Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. You have former All-Stars in Natasha Howard. Okay, then you have like very, very good role players. Okay, in Mitchell, in Hall and Cunningham. Then you have players off the bench. You have a very solid backup point guard in Ari McDonald. Right? Need I go on? Like what are we doing? You know, you think you're making points? That's silly to me. Yeah, this is the guy that I was made that whole video about. This guy, I haven't seen him lately, you know, but this is the guy. Is it time to give up the absurd point forward nonsense? The baby giraffe and the me bound show is entertaining. You know, it's like, this is the guy I made that about. You know, just kind of letting them know, you know, if he keeps going, I'm definitely going to get rid of him. Look at him. He was just, then he disrespects me. You know, that's one thing you can't do. You can't come here and make fun of my name. He said, "So sorry, fool," and, you know, just corny. Like, you know, I was getting back at him, killing him, and all of that, you know. But, you know, that you just can't do it. Can't come to a king's castle, you know, no matter how big or small his castle is. Can't come to his castle and disrespect him. And Monica Lewis, she has very good comments here, but since she's not trolling, that's the only reason I'm not, you know, reading them out loud. He was an angry fan troll. Alright, that's pretty much what I got on that, though. We ain't gonna make this too long, so peace out.